Hello, you guys. Welcome back to Rebuilding in Recovery. My name is Tracy. I am a recovering addict and a therapist, and Rebuilding in Recovery is where I share my recovery journey to help you build a successful and happy life after addiction. You guys can connect with me on my other social media platforms. I have Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Patreon. I think that's it. I also recently opened a recovery support group called the Rebuilder Society. You can find the information for how to join that below the video, as well as more information about moi and my story. But today, I am following up the last video that I did on cravings. Like I said, two-part video. This is part 2, temptation. We are going to be talking about temptation, what it is, and how to fix it. We are going to be talking about how to fight temptation. Now, this is something that's going to affect everybody in recovery from 1 day clean to 20 years clean. Obviously, in early recovery, it's going to be much more potent. But at some point in all of our recoveries, we will be faced with temptation. This video is going to discuss how to plan ahead for those moments and how to manage that temptation and not let it get to us when it does come. Okay, so what is temptation? I actually have this tattoo on my arm of an apple. It's hands holding an apple. I've had people ask me, why do you have a tomato tattooed on your arm? I've had people say, is that because you're a Twilight fan? No. It's actually just to represent the apple from the Garden of Eden. It is to represent temptation. It is to represent my fight and why I choose to resist it. But I mean, what temptation is, basically, is a fight between good and evil. It's a fight between what you want and what you need. And the goal of temptation is to bring you down. It is to take you down. In my 8 years of recovery from heroin addiction, I have faced my fair share of temptation. And there are a few things that I do that help me resist it. And that is what I'm going to be sharing with you, my top tips for resisting temptation, even when you don't feel like it. And saying no, even when you don't really want to. So my number 1 tip, this is my favorite tip. This is the one that I use all the time, and that is playing it forward. Every time I am tempted to do something that I know that I should not do, I immediately think about, what is that going to do to my life? What is going to happen if I decide to go down that road? What is this going to do to my children? What is this going to do to my career? What is this going to do to my family? I genuinely like the life that I have built since I've left my addiction, and I do not want to mess that up. So when I play it forward and I think about those consequences, it is very easy for me to say no. And that's what I want for you guys as well. I want you to get to a place in your recovery where you are so satisfied with your life that it is easy for you to say no. But always play it forward. Always think about the end result and what is really going to happen. Number 2, I always recommend to clients, especially those in early recovery, but to everybody, carry a recovery card. What a recovery card is a little card that you carry with you in your wallet. On the card, you have 3 things listed on it, 3 things that you absolutely love about your life since you've gotten clean. You also have another 3 things listed. Those are consequences that are going to happen if you decide to go down this road. So I have things like, I love being a mom, and then I will lose my kids if I decide to go back down this road. Additionally, I want you to include the phone number of a support person that you have that will talk you off the ledge without judgment. Very important here. Don't put somebody on that card that's going to be like, what is wrong with you? You're so dumb. I can't believe you would have a craving. We don't want a judgmental Judgy Jerry. Don't put Judgy Jerry on your card. You need to put positive but I can't think on the spot. Positive Peter. I'm going to stop with the analogies now. I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm trying to do. Anyway, put a support person on there. Keep that card with you at all times and refer to it if you are ever tempted to F up. Number 3, I really like this tip. It is called the 20-minute rule. If somebody says to you, hey, you want to go ride with me to go get some ice? Do you want to do this? Are you interested? And you're thinking about doing it, I want you to stop and take 20 minutes. Before you answer that text message, before you answer that person, before you accept that invite, take 20 minutes and think about your decision. Life is worth 20 minutes, right? Take 20 minutes, distract yourself, do something else, and then come back to that thought. Our thoughts are most intense, our desires are most intense right when they hit. That gives our body time to regulate, time to calm down, time to really think about the consequences, and you may be surprised at how much difference 20 minutes can make. Because in the moment you're thinking, oh yeah, I really want it, I want to do that. And then 20 minutes later you're thinking, yeah, that's not a good idea, I'm not going to do that. So always give it 20 minutes before you jump. Number something, I forgot what number we're on, but the next one is distract yourself. If you are feeling really wrapped up in your temptation, if you're really wanting to use, you're really wanting to go ride with whoever, keep yourself busy. Clean your house, frantically clean your house. Watch the funniest show you've ever seen. Call somebody, call a friend and talk to them on the phone. Do something, anything to distract yourself. Do not sit and wallow in this temptation. The next one is to pump up your dopamine. As I've said, I've mentioned dopamine in a lot of my videos before. I'll link down below the video that describes dopamine in case you don't know what I'm talking about. Dopamine is a feel-good hormone and it is responsible for our cravings. So if you do some activities to pump up your dopamine, that is going to help you feel stronger, more capable of saying no, and it's going to make those cravings diminish. While you are implementing that 20-minute rule that I shared with you a minute ago, use that time to exercise. Go for a 20-minute run. Do 20 minutes of yoga. Take a 20-minute meditation. Talk on the phone with your friend for 20 minutes. All of those things will not only give you that 20-minute breather, but they will also pump up your dopamine, doubling your strength and ability to say no. The next one is to find support. Again, the 20-minute rule is a great time to do this. Call a friend, call a sponsor, go to a meeting. Find support however you like to find support. But do not keep this temptation to yourself. I found that that is the worst thing that you can do. You will feel 10 times better if you share this with somebody, if you talk to somebody about it. Even if it's somebody that is not an addict, but somebody that's going to talk you through this and not be judgmental, just get it off your chest. I promise you, it is going to make you feel so much better and so much stronger and so much more able to say no, because that conversation is going to help rationalize this desire for you. Okay, now my last recommendation, if you have tried absolutely everything, if you have done all of the things on this list that we just talked about, if you have done all of the things in the craving video that I released last week, and you are still struggling with cravings, you are still struggling with temptation, and you are white knuckling it, trying not to use, go ahead and explore medication at this point. There is Vivitrol and Suboxone. Those are great medications for helping you to fight those cravings. They will pump up the dopamine, they will fill up those opioid receptors, and sometimes we need a little bit of help saying no, and that's okay too. It is definitely better to go down that road than to throw away your whole life again. So you got to think, if it's really between relapse or medication, which one's going to be better? Okay, so those are my top tips for reducing temptation. If you guys have anything that you use to reduce temptation, anything that really works well in those moments for you, drop them down below the video. I'm always curious to hear what other people are doing to help with their own temptation. Guys, please do all of those awesome YouTube things. Share this video with somebody in early recovery. Subscribe, hit the bell so that you know when my next video is coming out. Like it, send me your comments. I really appreciate the support, and I will see you again next Saturday.